Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome to Confessions of an Etsy Shop Owner. Okay, so you guys should know by now that today we are actually talking about the equipment that I have, the equipment that I purchased, the timeline for which I purchased these items. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump back to the end of September. That is when I purchased my silhouette machine. I purchased a Silhouette Portrait 2. The reason why I purchased it is because it was the cheapest that I could find that would do the job that I needed it to do. So the Silhouette Portrait 2, although only $100 and some change, is going to do the same job as any other cutting machine, any other $300 cutting machine, $250 cutting machine. If you're, creating stickers. If you're looking to do shirts and stuff like that, then it might not work for you. But for what I'm doing, or if you're watching this video, potentially what you might be doing, for making stickers is going to do the job flawlessly. So it does the job, it cuts stickers. I mean, I just designed these stickers. These are like some mini Build-Do stickers. And I mean, they cut it, the machine cut it just as well as any other machine, you see? It's just cutting stickers. It's really not that difficult, and I didn't feel that I needed like a big fancy machine for that. Also, I was trying to keep my overhead really low. So everything that I bought was pretty much dirt cheap because of that. I did, purchase some quality items, like the paper. The paper is really quality, and stuff like that. But for the most part, I was trying to keep the overhead as low as possible because, as we all know, I paid for all of this stuff in cash. I did not go into debt for any of this, which, I feel like if you follow my lead, which I'm really not here to get anybody to really follow my lead, but if you do, you should probably be able to do the same, because the stuff that I bought was really dirt cheap and it was like a few $100s really. So I don't think that that requires going into debt. But like I said, I purchased a Silhouette Portrait 2 because it was cheap and it did the trick and I didn't hear any bad things about it. So I just went ahead and purchased it. I purchased from Walmart. Typically I would purchase from Amazon, but I just felt that because my apartment complex was acting funny because they were under new management and they were trying to like get away from accepting packages, and then the Amazon people can't find the apartment sometimes, I just felt buying such a product, I would go ahead and just buy it from Walmart, have it sent to Walmart, pick it up, and that be that. And so that's what I did. But like I said, otherwise, you can get it from Amazon probably for a few dollars cheaper if I had to guess. So I got mine from Walmart. That was around like September the 28th or something like that. I came home, I sat it down, I got back in bed because I went out at like 8 p.m. It was just getting dark around that time, with daylight savings time and whatever. I told my husband that it was pretty much a go time. Now, understand that if your sticker making dreams do not come true or to fruition, you can take the machine back or you can sell it or something. So you can, get your money back. So just know that if things don't go accordingly, it's not like a complete waste. You can try to, get your money back and stuff like that. But for me, I was like, well, I just bought this brand new machine. So therefore, it is go time and I'm going to make this work. So the next day, which would have been Sunday, my husband went to work, which I love when he does on Sundays because Sundays are pretty chill and I just feel like I do my best work on Sundays. So Sunday, I set up the machine. I do have the Portrait 2, so it has Bluetooth and everything. So I set up all of that and I just dove right in. So in my brain, it made sense for me to go ahead and purchase the machine so I could get the Silhouette software, so I could go ahead and start learning the software and designing stickers. I know now that you actually can get the Silhouette software without purchasing the Silhouette. You can also learn to design stickers in other programs, none of which I know the names of because I don't do that, but I know that people do actually do that. I don't know if people said they've designed in PicMonkey or I don't know what, but if you know some software programs that we can use to design stickers, which I'm not going to use them because I'm doing well to be working Silhouette, then leave them down in the comment section so people can, explore those options. But in my head, buy the Silhouette, get the Silhouette software, learn it, and get familiar with the software and the Silhouette. So that is what I did. So again, I got right to it. By the end of that day, I actually had learned everything that I needed to know. I did refer to like the handbook or the manual And I also refer to YouTube videos. I think Silhouette has like a YouTube channel and you can watch videos there to get some information. There are blogs out there, Facebook groups, stuff like that. I didn't really explore Facebook groups or anything, but I did, you know, type into Google any questions that I had so that it could pop up. So that's what I did. I would say by the end of that first week, I had learned everything that I needed to learn, and I had designed my stickers because they're basic stickers. They're just flags and squares, large squares and large squares, or small squares and large squares. Not a whole lot that goes into the stickers that I am making. That is why I'm able to, you know, that's why I was able to get it done really quickly. If you're working on like a full kit or foiling and stuff like that, then you're probably gonna have to put in some work. But for me, it wasn't that hard to draw a square and a flag. And that's literally, I mean, I just released a mini kit, and it's literally just a miniature version of the kit that I created at first. So squares, large squares, rectangles, little strips, flags, nothing too major, nothing that, you know, wouldn't be difficult to whip up really quickly. This is really basic. So that is why I was able to do it so quickly. By the end of that first week, I was ready to move on to the second phase. Now, let me tell you something about myself. I can't work on one or more projects at the same time. I can multitask, like listen to music and work on designing stickers or something like that, but I cannot do multiple tasks at once. I have to map it all out, write it all out, plan it all out, and do 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. I cannot do multiple projects at once. That causes me anxiety. I like to start a project, finish it, move on to the next one. If I try to go out of order, then it's just all messed up and I don't get anything completed. I know that about myself. So that is why I went in the order in which I went. So that next weekend, the first full week after learning Silhouette and all of that, I was ready to move on to the second phase in my mind, which was learning to cut stickers, because I actually hadn't really cut stickers because I didn't even purchase any sticker paper. So I could not even print or cut stickers. I was just learning Silhouette and designing stickers. So that weekend, my husband and I went out. We went to Office Depot. We purchased some Avery shipping labels. It was like a pack of maybe 25 for like $10, $12. Kind of expensive actually, but we purchased that because I just was ready to move on to the next phase. So I was like, let's just purchase this paper. It, you know, is readily available. It's right here. I can work on, you know, cutting stickers for the weekend or however long it took, obviously. So that is what we did. We also purchased some ink for my printer. So I actually have 2 printers. One is a printer that I've had for like 3+ years. I knew that the printer probably wasn't going to do the trick because it's like a basic printer. You know, the one, I can't be the only one. You know how like you'll buy like a cheap printer for like $30 and it's actually cheaper to replace the whole printer, to buy a new printer with new ink than to purchase more ink, that kind of thing. So that was the kind of printer I had. It was like a $40 printer, and to replace the ink was like $60 or something crazy like that. It's a Canon, you'll see it, a Canon 3520 or something like that. That was one of those kinds of printers. So I was like, the printer's probably not going to do what I needed to do. So in my head, I had already convinced myself that it was going to be garbage, which it was. But I do still use it, which I'll share with you guys later how I still use it. But I went ahead and bought ink because I did not have any ink for the printer. So we bought ink and we bought shipping labels. We came home. I started to learn how to cut. I did not have high expectations for the printer. Like I said, I was just using the printer and that paper, the subpar printer and the subpar paper, to print me some stickers, or, you know, to print on so that I could, or to print with so that I could learn to cut the stickers. Because to me, what was the point of learning to cut stickers if I couldn't design stickers? So that is why I did design and then cut. And to me, there was no Etsy shop. There was no making stickers or selling stickers without designing stickers and then cutting stickers, if that makes sense. I know it's probably a whole lot, but that's just how I think. So I came home, I got to work. I will tell you that cutting stickers, or learning to cut stickers, was actually a little bit more difficult than I had anticipated. Learning how to, you know, like line up the mat and adjusting the auto blade and learning the differences between like a ratchet blade and an auto blade, and all of that was a little bit more beyond my scope, but I did figure it out. I learned a whole lot from YouTube watching silhouette videos, and by silhouette videos I mean the videos that the actual silhouette company creates and posts on YouTube. That was like my go-to, so search for that if you are having any struggles with cutting or really anything, changing blades, that kind of thing. That was literally my biggest help. I remember I was so frustrated trying to learn to cut the stickers, and I was like, let me just search on YouTube for like silhouette tutorials or on cutting stickers or whatever. And I came across the silhouette channel, and I watched one video on how to cut stickers, and I was like, why didn't I watch this forever ago? But it was that one video that like solidified it for me, and I was ready to go then. So that was around 2 weeks later. So at that point, we're like halfway into October, or I'm like halfway into October. That was around that time. And I, like I said, watched that video, and I was pretty much good on cutting. So I used up all of that paper basically to, you know, learning to cut stickers, making sure it was going to cut repeatedly the way that I needed it to cut, and making sure that everything was how I needed it to be, and that I had really accomplished and learned cutting stickers, and it wasn't just, you know, my luck cutting a couple of the pages correctly. So that's what I did. Then it was time for me to figure out my paper situation and my printer situation. Again, this is just how my brain works. So the first thing that I did is I went to onlinelabels.com and I purchased some sticker paper. So I purchased 3 types of sticker paper. Actually, I lied. What I did was, I take that back. I'm not editing this. I take that back. What I did is I ordered free samples. I ordered 5 free samples of 5 different types of sticker paper. I think they only let me choose up to 5, which was cool. So I picked like 3 glossy and like 2 premium matte types of paper, and I ordered those, and then those came in like 3-4 days, because apparently, I guess, Online Labels is based out of Florida and I'm in Georgia, so it took no time. So I had that paper to work with, and while I was waiting for that paper, I was on a hunt for a printer. Again, we're in like the 3rd week of October at this point, so we're about 3 weeks in. I was on a hunt for a printer. Finding the printer was probably the most stressful part, because first of all, there are like 9 billion printers out there, so that caused me a little bit of stress. It was a little different. It was much easier picking like paper, because I mean, it's not like billions of companies or billions of paper types. Like, I already knew what I had and what I wanted. I'm a premium matte type of girl, so I already knew that I would be selecting some type of premium matte paper. But I just found that looking for printers, or a printer that would do what I needed it to do, was going to be, I knew that it would be difficult, and it was difficult. And the machine that stood out to me was the Canon Pixma MX922. Now, the reason why it stood out to me was because, according to my research, I'm not trying to present like I know what the heck I'm talking about, because I really don't really know. I'm just sharing with you guys what other people have shared. Apparently, the machine cleans its ink head either before the next print or after, and that helps with the print quality being like really crisp and clear. Now, that it had that going for it. Also, it was like the best printer in its price range. I wasn't really trying to spend more than like $100 for the printer. I actually ended up getting it for $60. So in my head, I was like, I'll just buy it and see how it prints, and if it's not garbage, then I'll keep it. If it's garbage, I'll take it back. Printer blew my mind. Like, the ink quality was amazing. Again, I had bought that machine while I was awaiting the free samples, and so I put in the free samples, or a few different sheets from the samples, into the machine, and I let it print. And again, I was blown away, especially in comparison to the other printer that I had. But even when I don't compare the two, the machine just has really good quality. So that's pretty much why I went with the machine that I went with. So anyway, at that point, we're like 3.5 weeks in. We are coming up on November The reason why I remember all of this so vividly is because we went on an anniversary trip in November, and we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That was November the 2nd, I think. Now, before we left, I was talking to my husband. Should I go ahead and purchase my my packaging materials and the paper and stuff that I had decided on from the samples, or should I just wait until we get back? And he's not really a wait person. He's like, well, why won't you just go ahead and do it now? So I strategically purchased it so that it would be here upon our return, so I wouldn't have to like wait that long, if that made sense. So like, because I was on vacation, I was going to be on vacation living it up, so while I was on vacation, it was like preparing to ship and, you know, going to be here by the time that we got back, which we got back on Sunday. So I think my paper started to roll in on Monday, and then my shipping labels, why do I keep saying that? My shipping materials, my mailers, and all of that started to roll in upon my return. So at that point, we're like almost 5 weeks in. Once my shipping material got here, and once my paper got here, I was pretty much ready to go. As you guys know, I was going to wait until my mom's birthday, which was November the 27th, to open. But between November the 4th and November the 27th, I mean, there was no real reason for me to wait that long other than just wanting to open the shop on my mom's birthday. That is why I went ahead and decided to just go ahead and open early. And that is why I opened, I think, November the 13th. So between like the 4th and the 13th, I was kind of prepping and making sure everything was going to go accordingly. And actually, I was still going to open on the 27th. I think I decided on the 10th. I was like, well, I might as well go ahead and open now. So that's when I started to take pictures, and I started to work on my Etsy shop and opening it and, you know, adding listings and all of that. And everything was there and ready to go by like the 11th or the 12th. So I was like, I might as well just open. So I filmed a video on YouTube and I opened the shop. So that was, again, the timeline was like September the 25th, 26th through when I first purchased the machine. I think I had it in my hand on September the 28th through like November the 4th. That's kind of when everything got to me and I was ready to go. I did decide on the premium matte paper. Again, I'm a premium matte girl. The glossy paper, not for me, but for people who might want glossy. And yeah, those are the two papers that I decided on. I did order a standard white matte paper, but once it got here and everything, like once I really started to compare it to the other two, I was like, I can't sell this. And I'll show you that right now. So this is the premium matte. This is the glossy. There's those two. And then this is the standard white matte. Like, you know, like I couldn't even sell it. So while I did order those three, I eventually, after like looking at it, because I would carry these around like to my full-time job, I would just pull them out. Because I wanted to offer this like at a cheaper price, because this paper is way cheaper than these. These are like 2 and 3 times more expensive than this paper. But I was like, I can't sell. Look at this. I was like, I cannot sell that. Like, just look at it in comparison to the other. So like I said, while I did order it, I eventually ditched it. But the cool thing is I have to, or you have to, print shipping labels. So you can use a printer, or you can use like a label maker, which is really fancy and expensive. I hope to get one day, but I just use my printer for now. And I use that old printer. So while I'm printing and cutting, or printing from the fancy printer, my old throwback printer is actually printing shipping labels and packaging slips. So I do have 2 printers because of that. And honestly, I probably would, like, even if I didn't have the old printer, I probably would have gone out by now to buy another printer, because it just makes shipping and cutting and printing, it makes the whole process so much easier. So anyway, that's my timeline. As far as money goes, of course, I'm going to share with you guys links to all of these products, but just as a quick recap, I already had the throwback printer, so that was free. I bought the Silhouette at about $120. I bought the printer at like $60, so that put me at about $180. I bought the ink for the first printer, which of course I eventually used because it prints packaging slips and shipping labels, for like $30, which would put me at about $210. And then I also bought the Avery shipping labels. That paper was probably like $15, so that put me at like $225 just to kind of get started. Like the first initial money that I kind of put into the business, that was pretty much the startup cost, I guess, if you will. And then eventually I did order the paper. So, and the, what's the other thing that I purchased? The paper. And then the next thing that I purchased was the shipping, I keep saying shipping labels, the packaging slips and whatnot. So I have these, I have smaller ones and large ones, and then I have the little poly bags. So I have smaller ones and larger ones. And these were dirt cheap, like probably all together for 100 of each. I probably spent $40. So tack on that, whatever that math is. And then the paper. So every time that I order paper, I probably spent about $115. So starting up, I just ordered 100 sheets of each just for startup purposes. I quickly started to, you know, spend more money on paper. I order paper like once a week now, but starting up, I probably spent about $115 on, I guess you're all waiting for me to do that math, huh? Okay. So, $120 for the cutting machine, $60 for the printer. The startup paper was $115. That's what we're going to call it. Obviously, I already had ink inside of the fancy printer, the MX922, because it comes with ink. So for the other ink, that was like that was about $30 for the other ink, because I had to buy color ink and black ink. And then I also had the shipping labels, which you can probably forego those and just order the samples or something like that, or you might already have sticker paper. So for that was about $15, I think. So altogether, we're sitting at $340. So that's the machine, the cutting machine, the Silhouette Portrait 2, the printer, the MX922, the Avery shipping labels for like testing purposes, the ink for the throwback printer, which is the MG3520 or something like that, the paper, which comes in a pack like this, 100. This is 100 sheets. I bought enough of that to get me started, about 100 each. And then I bought these mailers. So that was probably $40. And that was my startup. Now, I do use this, which is a cutting board, or it's like a paper trimmer. But I already had this. So you might already have one too. But I already had this, so I don't include that. And I just the other day, bought some more blades because mine were starting to get dull. So I don't include that in like the startup costs. So that was pretty much it. I'm looking around, making sure I have accounted for everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't have to buy a ruler or measuring tape or anything like that, although I do use those two items for measurement purposes. I already had a measuring tape and mini ruler, so I didn't have to buy that. I did not buy extra blades or extra cutting mats or anything like that. I have since purchased that, but for getting started, you don't need an extra blade and you don't need extra mats, I don't think. Okay, so here is like the main work area. So here is my printer. It is the Canon Pixma MX922. And this bad boy is how I print all of my stickers. Here is my Silhouette Portrait 2. And here's my lamp, because sometimes the portrait needs light, ample lighting to detect the registration marks, which are these things. So that's why I have this lamp here. So I'll just turn on the lamp. I got this lamp from Walmart. Not with this in mind though, but I did get it from Walmart around September. But yeah, that's what's going on there. We'll just leave that on. So, pro tip, what I've learned is, well, first of all, I wasn't using my old printer, right? Because actually it is the MG 3520. So I wasn't using my old printer for printing sticker paper because it wasn't doing anything for me. The print quality was trash. So what I did was I actually started using this printer to print packaging slips. So I print, and shipping labels. So I print my stickers from here because I need that to be high quality. But the shipping labels and the packing slips, those don't have to be high quality. So I will use this. So I will have them go in simultaneously. And I love that because this is actually pretty fast as well. And it just spits everything right out. So this is the little area for which I roll to or walk to whenever I am retrieving sticker paper from the printer and then inserting it into the silhouette. Let's see. Okay, so here, this is actually like my Plan With Me craft area, as you can see. And I like to fill orders here. So I have this chair that I got from Wayfair and this mat, and I'll just roll all around everywhere. In a perfect world, this wouldn't be my setup, but we don't live in a perfect world. But I will sit here and work on orders, as you can see. I've been working on some orders, and I will burn my candle and listen to my music. And then this is right here, so that works out perfect. And I'll show you guys what's in here. Oh, Lord. So I'm out of matte paper. The matte paper that I use, this isn't the matte paper that I use. This is just something that I recently bought for myself. So I'm going to start using this when I print my own stickers at home for myself. And it's like a knockoff version of that other paper. So I ordered some more matte paper just the other day, so it'll be here soon. But yeah, this is where I keep my premium matte paper. This is where I keep my white gloss. Nobody really uses white gloss except for Michelle, and some of you do. Some of you order white gloss. And then this is standard matte paper that I use for the shipping label. So I only offer white gloss or glossy and premium matte in the shop. And then that's it. But I do have standard white paper that I use for the shipping labels and other types of things that aren't that important. So this is a type of sticker paper, but I don't use it in the shop. I don't offer it in the shop. This is some glossy paper that I also bought for myself. It's just a cheaper alternative. I haven't tried it out, but I have heard good things about it, so I bought it. I'll link it down below. I don't know what it's like, so y'all will probably use it and let me know before I use it and let y'all know. Here are some of my planners that I use for picture taking and for kind of measurements for my stickers and my sticker kits and stuff. And then I have some like mishaps, which I'm going to be giving all of these away. I just need to go through them. And then this is my ink. And then I have my paper trimmer. I have extra blades for my silhouette and then extra blades for my paper trimmer. And then a bunch of ink. Here are my mailers. My bags. So I have the small poly bags back here, which I have a bunch of those. And then I have the larger ones here. And then I have an extra cutting mat here. I have 3 cutting mats at this point. When I started, I didn't have extra of anything, but I do have extras now, extra blades and extra stuff. Here are the small millers. More small millers, and then the last 2 are the larger millers, which I go through those more quickly because people, I feel like, purchase kits more. Here's my, why is this like this? Anyhow, this is my computer, so this is where I print and cut all of the stickers. This is my 3rd IKEA desk. I actually have 4. I have a makeup vanity. That's an IKEA desk too. So I have 4 IKEA desks. But I will print and cut here, and then I'll just roll on over here, retrieve, insert, or my husband will bring that chair over here, and he will print and cut and stuff with me whenever he can help. And then I'll just roll back here and package orders. So at this point, I believe I have covered everything. In this video, I wanted to cover startup costs and equipment that I have and purchased, and the timeline for which I purchased it and all of that. And I believe that I have covered all of that. Again, if there are any questions that are lingering wait around to ask those questions, or go ahead and ask them, but I plan to answer them in the 5th episode of the series. That's going to be a Q&A video, and I'll also share recommendations and suggestions. So that pretty much concludes this video. I think next week I'm going to release the week in the life vlog instead of the day in the life vlog. I don't know. I haven't decided. I may do day in the life and then week in the life, only because that's the order in which I said I would spit out the videos, or the series would go. But I don't know. I can't decide, because I'm actually in the process of closing out the week in the life. I actually went ahead and filmed that video. So I've been vlogging all week, which is crazy. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.